Good morning, noon, or night. My name is Jet, and welcome to my channel, JITV, Jet in the Valley. So, this is going to be more about the rules of engagement. The more you do things out of love, the better your life is going to be. The more joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control you're going to have. The more you do things in opposition to love, the less of those things you're going to have. Those things are freedom. That's what freedom is. The capability to have self-control. When you do not have the capability of self-control, you are in bondage to your mind and to your body. We'll leave it at just those two things for now. Because if you can't control yourself and someone comes up to you and stomps on your foot or something, and you have zero self-control and you have a rage issue, and you pull your knife out and you stab somebody, and then you go to jail, and where's your family? So, because you had no self-control, okay, you're now in jail and your family is missing you, and you become separated from the love that you do have, or whatever instance, okay. I used to have severe anger management issues. I used to fight a lot. I was under the assumption that that's what made you a badass. Was if someone said something to you, you don't take that from anybody. That is kind of what I'd say movies and music, they promote as being a badass, is that. So they're promoting no self-control and quick anger and all, lots of other things. Having lust, going and doing whatever. That's what the society promotes as being a badass. They're promoting bondage, you being in bondage, and having no self-control, having no joy, peace, or love. They're promoting that as what a badass is, when it's actually the literal exact opposite. It's the exact opposite of whatever you see in a movie or a TV or whatever. Because those things get you in trouble. Literally a trap. They promote these things as making you a badass, and they want you to be a badass and think people are going to think you're a pussy if you don't snap and just whoop somebody's ass when they say one little thing about you or your family, okay? Then they're waiting right there for you to put you in jail. They're waiting right there for you, especially if you're poor and you can't afford a lawyer. They're waiting there to fill up one of their for-profit prisons and use you and as a slave, literally, in their prisons to do whatever. Even if you're just there, that is making that facility money. It's all just a massive trap. The trap is hot. That's just one example of one thing. What actually makes you a badass is having self-control and having joy and love, because love is the most high, okay, love is the most high anything here. It's the superpower. It's the provable it's documented that it's the most high frequency that's here. If you really think about it and you really stop and you examine your life, if you're feeling love and joy and peace, and somebody comes up to you and they say, I don't like your face, or I don't like your shoes, or look at this asshole, or whatever they come up with to say that's petty. If you're in love, then it doesn't matter whatever those people have to say, because you can see, once you get love in you and you know what love is, and you can see how sad and pathetic these people really are that are coming after you. It's very sad, because they don't know. They don't know love. They don't know the value of it. They don't know what it can do for you. They don't know that love is what makes you strong. Everything else makes you weaker. It makes you in bondage. It makes you easy to manipulate, easy to control. It makes you triggerable, I guess you would say. if you are not in love, then you are in a trap. The only way you're going to get out of that trap is to examine your circumstances, the circumstances of society, and to figure out, like, why is everything messing up in my life? Like, what is this? Okay? If you continue to make all of your decisions based off of the opposite of love, if you don't learn what love is and you've been ignoring it, because guess what? It's been trying to tell you, and it's been trying to get you, because love is love and it loves you. If you understand what love is at all and you felt it in you and you know it, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. It's just these circumstances in the world and all the systems want to manipulate you into thinking that because you have love, it makes you weak. When if you have love, it's what makes you strong. It's all an inversion is what it is. So if you're tired of your life being bad, then maybe you should consider and look at it from a point of view. When you make decisions, you have to recognize that your brain and your body is on a pattern. And if things aren't going good for you, then it's on a bad pattern. It's probably just in the natural state of the human condition. So your mind and your body are in direct opposition to your spirit or your soul or your life force energy, which is love. So your mind and your body are literally your own enemy. There's that song, he says, "It's no surprise to me, I am my own worst enemy." That's very true. You are your own worst enemy. And all of those things will be manipulated. All of those things will be used against you until you figure out that they're being used against you and that it's ruining the love in your life. When you do a series of things that are for love and in alignment with love, then this is what happens. So you can't be in love and in all of those other things at the same time, specifically fear. And this has been proven that, you know, I've seen several different things where they show it, but when you're in love, you cannot also be in fear. So most of our problems that we're having, a huge portion of problems of society, come from fear. It's fear-based problems. Depression, anxiety, several so-called mood disorders. It's all fear-based. So there's a series of things, series of behaviors that are of love. There's a series of behaviors that are not of love, opposite of love and against love. You need to switch these behaviors to these behaviors. But you need to understand that you have to ask for knowledge and wisdom and discernment. Knowledge and wisdom and discernment, anybody can get if they want it. Anybody can get if they want it. And here comes the problem is knowledge, wisdom, and discernment aren't going to lie. They aren't going to lie to make you feel better. It is how it is, and that's what it is. And people start to figure that out. They get a little bit of it, and they say, oh shit, I don't want anything to do with that, because it causes cognitive dissonance. So it causes a serious dilemma for you, because what the truth is in total opposition to what you thought it was. So then you have a choice to make. Do you change your way of thinking, your whole life, everything that you've thought? Because what's true is in direct opposition. Okay? We can't change what's true. It is. So your option is to change and line up with that wisdom, knowledge, and discernment and love. Or you say, nope, not doing it. None of that shit's real. None of it's true. We're just going to ignore that, get that out of here, not go down that road anymore because, man, it really messed me up. And that is understandable. I get it. It's very uncomfortable to find out things about yourself aren't as real as what you thought they were. It can also cause, with the wisdom, knowledge, discernment, and truth and love will come in, because it will cause potentially an existential crisis. That's what the mental health field has called it, an existential crisis. And a lot of people can't handle that because they don't have love. Once you have love and you understand love and you have that baseline, then you can handle anything, literally anything. You get it. You got it. You have to have a little bit of braveness, just a little bit at first, to let this wisdom, knowledge, discernment, and love come in, okay? You're not going to go crazy. You're going to be okay. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you better than you've ever been. And it's going to set you free. It's going to give you freedom. Because usually what we're doing is a form of basically putting ourselves in bondage because of the current state of our mind and body being in opposition to love. You just have to be a little bit brave and trust that you can take some of that. You can take some questioning of yourself, you know? Especially if you think that it's going to make, if you just hope, just a little bit of hope that you get that wisdom, knowledge, and discernment, that it's going to make your life have meaning and true value and not fake, monetary, superficial, materialistic bullshit. Love is the superpower. Love is the real deal. Love is the currency. You cannot change love. Love is there, and love is what it is. Either we line up with it or we don't. And I think a huge portion of people are putting this off until their deathbed, because you can't stay distracted. We can keep ourselves distracted, and we can do a million different things, and we can make a bunch of money, or we can have kids, and we can donate to this, and we can spend our time with that. You can keep yourself busy enough, or you can keep yourself full of enough bitterness and hate to where you can ignore the truth, and you can ignore wisdom and discernment, and you can ignore love. But once you are on your deathbed, quote unquote, when you know you are on your way out of here, when this body is giving, you can't run from it anymore. You can't distract yourself. You can't hide from it. You're going to have to acknowledge what love is. And you could do that today. You could start doing that now and have a good life, and have joy and patience and kindness and self-control, and you can have all of those things and have more of them starting today if you just accept for a minute that you need to have knowledge, discernment, and love. You need to have those things. I think it's very painful these days for people to acknowledge that they need love. If you understand what love is and you know it, then you need to have love. If you don't have love, you're going to become sick. You're going to get ill. You're going to have so-called mental problems, body problems, all kinds of problems, because we need love. There's a whole someone, I don't know, 60 years ago called it, I'm not even going to say the term, but we need love. And pretending that you don't, or ignoring it, or pushing it way down, trying to cut yourself off from love, from needing love, it's literally insane, okay? It's insane because you think of this. As a souled individual, you need to have love. You come from love, you are love. It's not a chemical reaction that's in your brain. Love is love. Would a tree, okay, he needs to have his roots into the soil, right? Would a tree grab a saw, okay, because it gets pissed at the dirt and doesn't understand the dirt and the ground, and start cutting itself off from the trunk of the tree? We're the only ones that do that. We're trying to cut ourselves off in so many different ways from love, which is what's keeping us alive and keeping us safe at all. Because if you really get to the root of every system and you see how in opposition to love that it really is, you would wonder how in earth have we made it this far? Because there's people who want to destroy everything good. And they are trying. And they're being successful to a degree. And they're the people who are making your television and making your music and educating your children. If it's not of love, it's in opposition and against and an enemy of love. And you can't have joy, peace, contentment, kindness, goodwill. You can't have these good things when you are living and using all of your effort to go against it. So, if those things sound like good things, and those are what you want, and we say collectively that those are what's important, then we have to stop participating in all of these things that are against love. So, I say these messages out of love because I see plenty of people who have no idea what's going on, and they're just going with the flow because they grew up in this society, and I did too, and I grew up listening to friggin' Bone Thugs and watching MTV and everything else too. I'm just very thankful that my dad didn't let me sit around and watch TV all day. He made sure that we were staying busy because he knows what happens when you don't stay busy. So, I'm going to call that one good, and much love and many thanks. Thank you.